40 years ago, television history was made when The Golden Girls first aired, a show that celebrated friendship, humor, aging gracefully, and living unapologetically. It became more than just a sitcom. It became a cultural phenomenon. Now, 4 decades later, the laughter still echoes, the love still shines, and the memories feel as fresh as ever. To honor this incredible milestone, ABC is airing a special called The Golden Girls. 40 Years of Laughter and Friendship, premiering on Tuesday, November 11th at 10 p.m. on 2020. And for those who want to relive every golden moment, all episodes are streaming next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. Among the stars featured in this heartfelt tribute is none other than George Clooney, who once appeared as a young guest star on the show long before he became the Hollywood icon we know today. For many fans, it's hard to imagine Clooney as anything but the suave, leading man of films like Ocean's 11 and Gravity, but back in the mid-1980s, he was just another rising actor hoping to make his mark, and the Golden Girls gave him that chance. When Clooney appeared on the show, he played a young undercover police officer, Bobby Hopkins, who arrives at the girls' Miami home to install a listening device. The moment he stepped on set, he found himself surrounded by comedic royalty. Betty White, Bea Arthur, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty, 4 women who defined television comedy. Clooney recalls, "God, they were funny. They were all funny. It was such a fun time. I had this wonderful scene with the girls and I just adored them." Fans remember that episode vividly. Clooney's character teams up with the ladies to solve a mystery involving a sting operation. The banter, the charm, and the way he matched their energy made it one of the standout guest appearances of the series. But what many didn't realize at the time was that the Golden Girls often featured guest stars who were not yet famous, but would later become household names. Clooney was one of several stars who cut their teeth on that Miami-based sitcom set. The show also saw appearances by legends like Burt Reynolds, Debbie Reynolds, Bob Hope, and Dick Van Dyke, proving that even the biggest names in Hollywood wanted a chance to share the screen with the girls. It became a rite of passage for some of television's finest talent. When Clooney sat down with 2020 to discuss his time on the show, his nostalgia was clear. "Betty White was as welcoming, as sweet, and as funny as anybody I've ever met," he said warmly. "And B, she made me laugh harder than anybody." The admiration Clooney expressed for the cast wasn't just about their comedic timing, but their genuine kindness and professionalism. He described how every scene felt like a masterclass in timing, grace, and generosity. The show wasn't just a comedy, it was groundbreaking. The Golden Girls, which first aired on NBC in 1985, was revolutionary for centering around 4 older women living together in Miami. Dorothy Zbornak, played by Bea Arthur, was the sharp-tongued voice of reason. Rose Nyland, played by Betty White, was the naive but kind-hearted one from St. Olaf. Blanche Devereaux, brought to life by Rue McClanahan, was the confident Southern belle with endless charm. And Sophia Petrillo, portrayed by Estelle Getty, was the sassy Sicilian matriarch who said what everyone else was thinking. The chemistry among the 4 was lightning in a bottle. Every line landed, every joke resonated, and every episode left audiences laughing, crying, or both. It tackled real issues too: aging, love, friendship, grief, and even social taboos that many sitcoms at the time avoided. It wasn't just funny, it was fearless. Clooney remembers the day he walked onto the Golden Girls set for the first time. "I was nervous," he admitted, laughing. "Here I was, this young guy, surrounded by these icons who could make you laugh just by raising an eyebrow." But instead of feeling intimidated, he found warmth and laughter. Betty White, he said, greeted him like an old friend, cracking jokes before the first rehearsal. Rue McClanahan offered him tips on hitting comedic beats, while Bea Arthur shared her sharp wit between takes. There's one moment Clooney has never forgotten. During the scene where Blanche flirts with his character Bobby, she teases him by saying, "Does your mama know you carry that gun?" Clooney, in character, replies, "Blanche, I'm a grown man." Without missing a beat, she fires back, "You sure about that?" The studio erupted in laughter. It was one of those perfect sitcom moments that blended writing, performance, and spontaneity into pure magic. Today, decades later, George Clooney still treasures those memories. "It was one of the first sets where I really felt like I was part of something special," he said. "They treated everyone, guest stars, crew, everyone like family. It was a joyful experience." And that sense of joy is exactly what The Golden Girls continues to bring to audiences even after 40 years. Fans around the world still quote their favorite lines, still sing along to the unforgettable theme song, "Thank you for being a friend." and still see themselves in Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, or Sophia. The 40th anniversary special dives deep into this legacy. It revisits behind-the-scenes stories, rare interviews, and unseen moments that reveal what made the show so unique. We see clips of the girls laughing between takes, sharing stories on the couch, and supporting one another through the challenges of fame. It also highlights the cultural impact of the Golden Girls. The show was a trailblazer for its time, celebrating older women not as background characters but as leading ladies. It challenged stereotypes about aging, independence, and friendship. It inspired future generations of sitcoms like Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives, and even Grace and Frankie. In one emotional moment from the 2020 special, fans reflect on what the show meant to them. Some say it helped them through grief. Others say it made them laugh through loneliness. One fan says, "It taught me that friendship doesn't end when life gets hard, it deepens." George Clooney, in his signature charm, jokes during his interview, "Which Golden Girl am I? In my fantasy mind, I'm Blanche. Practically, I'm Dorothy." He laughs, then adds, "I loved Blanche. She was confident, funny, and just didn't care what people thought. But Dorothy, she was the master of the look." Nobody could deliver a look like Bea Arthur. As clips from the original show roll, the audience is reminded of just how timeless the humor remains. The witty one-liners, the playful teasing, the heartwarming lessons, all of it still lands just as powerfully as it did in 1985. Clooney smiles as he watches, visibly touched. "It's 40 years," he says, "but it's day one fresh." The Golden Girls' legacy also shines through in modern pop culture. From memes to merchandise, and from drag performances to fan conventions, the love for these four women has only grown. Their humor transcends generations. Even today, young viewers discovering the show for the first time find themselves laughing uncontrollably at Rose's wild stories about St. Olaf, Sophia's brutal honesty, Blanche's unfiltered confidence, and Dorothy's sharp wit. The special also honors the actresses' incredible careers and the lives they lived beyond the show. Bea Arthur went on to champion LGBTQ+ rights and perform in theater. Betty White, America's sweetheart, continued working well into her 90s, beloved by millions until her passing in 2021. Rue McClanahan, with her Southern grace and charm, became a symbol of empowerment for women of all ages. And Estelle Getty, though she played the oldest character, was actually the second youngest of the cast, a testament to her immense talent. Their bond was real. Even after the show ended in 1992, they remained connected. They laughed together, supported each other, and continued to celebrate the spirit of the show long after the cameras stopped rolling. As the Golden Girls' 40 Years of Laughter and Friendship premieres on ABC, fans across the globe are invited to relive those golden moments once more. From Miami to Hollywood, from fans in their 80s to those discovering the show at 18, the laughter unites generations. And as the theme song plays once again, "Thank you for being a friend," it feels more powerful than ever. It's not just a line, it's a legacy. For George Clooney, being part of that legacy is something he holds close to his heart. "They were some of the funniest, kindest people I've ever worked with," he says softly. "Whenever I think of them, I smile. That's what they did. They made people smile." 40 years later, the Golden Girls still does exactly that. Whether it's the clever banter, the unforgettable characters, or the message that friendship is the greatest treasure of all, the show remains a timeless reminder of what television can be at its very best: funny, fearless, and full of heart. So as fans tune in to ABC's special this Tuesday night, one thing is certain: the laughter of Blanche, Dorothy, Rose, and Sophia will never fade. It's been 4 decades of wit, wisdom, and warmth, and it's just as golden as ever.